This was supposed to be the wedding Josie had always dreamed of, but while she waited for her childhood sweetheart to appear, her best friend suddenly brought devastating news.
He's not coming.
Josie was completely stunned. She could not believe that the man she loved had abandoned her on their wedding day. Even more surprisingly, years later, Liam's relentless hard work turned him into a household name superstar. Countless young women became obsessed with him, but even after achieving fame, the unfinished wedding remained a wound Liam could never escape. One morning, Liam woke up in a fan's bed. Then he noticed that the old phone he carried, completely unfit for a celebrity of his status, had been crushed beneath the girl's foot. His expression instantly changed.
Oh, that's a cell phone?
No, it's broken. You broke it.
Liam rushed outside without hesitation. He ignored the crowd of fans chasing after him and burst into a phone repair shop in a panic.
I'll give anyone $10,000 if they can fix my phone. 10,000.
Everyone inside was shocked by his sudden appearance. The manager immediately offered to replace Liam's phone with the newest model for free. All he wanted in return was an autograph, but Liam refused every offer. Only after the manager personally repaired the old phone did a familiar voice play from inside.
April 9th, one saved message.
A wave of bitterness swept through Liam's heart. During the painful road toward his dream, Josie's voice had become his only source of comfort, but he had no idea that fate was about to connect them again. After returning home, Liam noticed a breaking news report. His best friend from childhood had died in an accident. Liam's expression immediately turned serious. Determined to say goodbye to his friend, Liam ignored his manager's objections and returned to the hometown he had left behind years earlier. But he had no idea how to face the people he once knew. So he sat alone, far away from the crowd. When he finally stood up to leave, he saw the figure who had haunted his thoughts for years. Even though Liam tried to remain calm, the emotions inside him crashed like a tidal wave. But when he noticed the little girl beside Josie, a child who looked strikingly like him, bitterness rose inside his heart. Under the colored light pouring through the church windows, it was not only Liam's best friend lying inside the coffin. His unspoken longing for Josie seemed to be buried there as well. Josie knew nothing about what Liam was feeling. After the memorial ended, she walked straight toward him. Liam instantly curled up in pain. His father, whom he had not seen in years, only shook his head and walked away. It was obvious that Liam's disappearance all those years ago had broken everyone's heart. The next morning, Liam awkwardly greeted his father. Then he noticed that the roses his late mother had planted were now growing wild and neglected. Filled with guilt, Liam finally made a decision that would change his life. He called his manager, but he had no idea that his sudden disappearance had already caused chaos outside. People everywhere were trying to figure out where he had gone. Liam did not care. After ordering his manager to send over his luxury car, he rode his old high school bicycle into town. To his surprise, the cashier at the local store was one of his former classmates. Nervously, Liam asked how Josie had been doing, but the woman's expression immediately changed. She politely, yet coldly, asked him to leave. There was no excitement at seeing a famous celebrity. The rejection left Liam deeply frustrated. He quietly walked away. Then he unexpectedly saw the woman he had never stopped thinking about enter a flower shop. This meeting would finally expose a secret hidden for 8 years.
Hi.
I'm with the customer.
Liam stood there awkwardly, unsure of what to do. Only after a customer finished paying did he follow Josie outside to see the customer off. But the friendly elderly woman suddenly changed her expression when she saw Liam.
Idiot.
Clearly, everyone in town still despised him for abandoning Josie at the altar. Josie, however, had already moved on from that pain. Instead of showing anger, she said something even more cutting.
Have you noticed that in the past 8 years, no one, and I mean no one, in this little town of ours has ever spoken to the press about you or your life here, ever? Have you also noticed that no one's taken a picture of you, posted it on Facebook,
No.
Instagram, nothing? Now, why do you suppose that is, Liam?
'Cause I walked out on you.
Liam, it's because you left us all that day. The entire town. But you don't belong here anymore, Liam.
Then she told Liam to leave. Before Liam could explain himself, Josie's daughter appeared. Josie immediately became tense.
I know you. You're that country star my mama listens to sometimes.
Then something the girl said left Liam deeply unsettled. Josie claimed it was only a coincidence, but Liam had already seen through the lie. When he asked the girl's age, a truth that would shock everyone began to surface.
How old are you, Billy?
I'm really small for my age, and I'm losing my baby teeth much later than everyone else at my age. But I'm 7.
Liam froze. The girl's age matched the exact number of years since he had left. Even more shocking, Billy was the name of Liam's late mother. At that moment, he immediately understood what it meant. Realizing she could no longer hide the truth, Josie sent Billy away and finally confessed.
I didn't find out that I was pregnant until a couple weeks after our wedding day. What was supposed to be our wedding day.
She had called Liam and left messages after discovering she was pregnant, but every call went straight to voicemail. From that moment on, Josie decided never to contact him again. She also kept the truth that Billy was Liam's daughter hidden from him.
Because Billy and I, we deserve better.
Named her after my mom, Josie.
I did that for your dad, Liam. We all do.
Liam's entire world was suddenly turned upside down. Before he could apologize, Josie's brother Jake walked into the shop. Sensing the hostility in Jake's voice, Liam had no choice but to leave in silence. Burning with anger, he went straight to confront his father.
Tell you what. That I had a daughter. Why didn't you tell me about Billy?
I did tell you.
After Liam ran away from home, Pastor Brian had attended his son's first concert. But no matter how many times he tried to prove that he was Liam's father, no one believed him. Security treated him like a fraud and threw him out. Liam was left speechless. After expressing his disappointment, Pastor Brian walked away. His words cut deeply into Liam's heart.
Great to your friends, and you were so in love with Josie. What happened to you, Liam? What happened? The guy I saw in Seattle that night, I knew that Billy and Josie were just better off without him.
As a pastor, his father had rarely spoken harshly in his life, but this time, he called Liam a disgrace. The words pushed Liam into deep self-doubt. For the first time, he truly questioned the immature decision he had made years ago. Determined to make things right, Liam stood outside while the town gathered to pray for their lost friend. Like a devoted believer, he remained at the entrance to show his remorse. With his father's guidance, years of anger and resentment finally dissolved into an embrace. Liam was finally forgiven by the people he had hurt, but nothing could erase the pain he had caused Josie. All he could do was watch her walk farther and farther away. After returning home, Liam opened the old phone once again. Time may pass and faces may grow older, but Liam's longing for Josie was like sealed wine. The longer it remained untouched, the stronger it became. After his manager delivered his luxury car and credit cards, Liam gathered his courage and returned to Josie's flower shop.
I want to see Billy. I'm not going to cause any trouble. It can all be on your terms, but she's my daughter too. Josie, whether you like it or not.
A flicker of hesitation passed through Josie's eyes, but she understood how important a father could be in a daughter's life. After sending Liam away, Josie returned home and deliberately brought up Billy's father. But even at her young age, Billy had already figured everything out.
The guy from outside the church and the flower shop, right? You two weren't exactly subtle, if you know what I mean.
Josie was surprised by her daughter's intelligence. Still, she refused to let her own emotions influence Billy, so she finally told her the truth about Liam.
Now, Sweet Pea, we met when we were very, very young. But it's important that you know that he did not abandon you. He didn't even know that I was pregnant.
Yeah, he looked pretty shocked when he saw me. We should invite him over for dinner. Might help him process the news.
Only then did Josie finally breathe a sigh of relief. Meanwhile, Liam called his manager and asked how to become a good father. For him, this was a challenge unlike anything he had faced before. His manager was surprised, but he still supported Liam's decision.
I think I'm going to be terrible at it. No.
That evening, Liam finally got the chance to have dinner with Josie and Billy. He also gave Josie an expensive necklace, but as the years passed, the love and resentment of the past had already begun to blur. Liam quickly realized something embarrassing. Because he had missed Billy's entire childhood, he knew nothing about what she liked. Even the enormous stuffed animal he gave her failed to spark any interest.
It's very big. You don't mind me calling you Liam, do you? Since I don't know you well enough to call you Dad.
Billy Ann, what's gotten into you?
What? It's the truth. I said I wanted to meet him, but I never said I'd be easy on him.
But despite everything, the bond between father and daughter slowly pulled them closer. Billy showed Liam around her room. The photographs covering the walls finally made him understand everything he had missed. Instead of desperately trying to win Billy's approval, Liam simply sat and listened to the small details of her life. For the first time, Billy began to see him differently.
You're better than I originally thought. So I guess we should get to know each other or something. Why don't you pick me up after school tomorrow?
I would love that.
Liam had no experience as a father and felt completely uncertain. Still, he could not hide his excitement and immediately told Josie about the progress he had made. But his reaction only irritated her.
This is moving way too fast.
But I'm here now. And I want to be here, Josie. I want to get to know Billy. Please, just give me the opportunity to do that.
Liam even dropped to one knee and begged for forgiveness. In the end, Josie finally agreed to his request. The next day, she accompanied Liam to Billy's school. At that moment, Liam's manager called. Without hesitation, Liam rejected the call. He refused to let work interrupt the rare chance to spend time with Josie. Then Josie noticed the old phone wrapped in tape. A trace of warmth rose inside her. It was the birthday gift she had given Liam back in high school, but Liam stubbornly refused to admit that was why he had kept it. Their conversation was interrupted when Josie suddenly received a phone call and had to leave. But Liam had no intention of wasting this rare opportunity. With help from his father, he convinced Billy, who refused to ride in his convertible sports car, to return home with him. Then Liam played beautiful music for his daughter. For a brief moment, everything felt peaceful and safe. The simple time they spent together felt like wine slowly aged by the years. Without realizing it, Liam became completely absorbed in that ordinary happiness. That small moment also revealed Billy's extraordinary talent. When Liam went into the kitchen, Billy picked up the guitar and began playing by herself. Liam was stunned.
Play the guitar?
Nope.
So how do you explain what you're doing right there?
By watching what you just did.
Billy had only heard the song once, yet she could already reproduce the melody with remarkable accuracy. Liam was overjoyed. He promised to buy her a better guitar. When it was time to leave, Billy suddenly threw herself into Liam's arms.
I had the best time with you. Thank you so much, Liam.
Liam's heart trembled. After Billy left, he told Josie about their daughter's musical talent. He suggested that the three of them choose a guitar together, but Josie immediately saw through his hidden intentions.
So you, me, and Billy?
Yeah.
Nothing's gonna happen between us, then.
I never said it was.
Even though Liam denied it, Billy's help slowly brought the three of them closer. They began spending more time together as a family. On warm afternoons, Liam and Billy played music together. Josie and Pastor Brian became their most devoted audience. Together, they began reclaiming the years they had lost. Liam even put all of his work aside. He shifted his entire focus toward his family. After buying his father a new coffee machine, Liam began restoring the garden his mother had left behind. Josie and Billy joined him. For a moment, it felt as though everything had finally returned to where it belonged. The three of them lived like a real family. They found happiness in the quiet rhythm of ordinary life. Then one day, after playing until she was exhausted, Billy asked the question she had always wanted answered.
Why'd you leave my mama?
Liam froze. Outside the door, Josie quietly waited for his response. Then Liam finally told the truth. 8 years earlier, a record executive had discovered him by chance. One of his songs quickly became a worldwide hit, but Liam had no idea how to handle the pressure that came with sudden fame. Tempted by money and success, he made the wrong decision. As time passed, he also lost the courage to admit his mistake. Then Liam told his daughter the truth. His regret had arrived far too late. It might have seemed lighter than grass and almost worthless, but like a migrating bird crossing endless mountains and rivers, it had finally guided him toward the answer he had been searching for. It was a message telling him to come home. It was also a flower that had taken years of waiting to bloom. In the end, Billy finally called him by the name that had been missing from her life for 8 years. Liam could barely contain his excitement. He immediately rushed to tell Josie. Under the fading light of sunset, two hearts that had missed each other for years slowly moved closer. The emotions in their eyes turned into quiet tears. They melted into every hidden corner of their hearts. And at last, Josie made her choice.
Think maybe you could drive me home?
Nope. Dad, I'm gonna drive Josie home.
After hearing the news, Pastor Brian smiled with relief. A soft breeze moved through Josie's hair. It felt as though 8 years of pain had finally come to an end, but none of them knew that fate often hides its fuse beneath laughter. Even the strongest happiness can collapse beneath the faintest sigh.
You know, there is something I would kind of love to do with you.
Yeah? What's that?
I would love to go on a date with the Liam Page.
Liam suddenly burst out laughing. The next day, Billy helped Josie get ready. Right on time, a luxury car appeared outside her home. It carried her to a mysterious location. Liam was already waiting there, his eyes filled with tenderness, as the woman from his dreams walked toward him. 8 years of longing finally seemed complete. He took Josie aboard his private plane. Their love melted into the light of the setting sun. When the plane landed at one of New York's most luxurious hotels, a crowd of reporters suddenly rushed toward them. Liam made no attempt to hide anything. He openly revealed Josie's identity.
The one. What's her name?
Everyone was stunned. Under countless envious eyes, Josie climbed into a carriage like a princess and rode away. But none of them knew that an approaching storm had already begun to form. Several days later, the family gathered for a peaceful meal. Suddenly, Billy began choking on her food. Everyone immediately panicked, but at the most critical moment, Liam froze. Memories of his mother's death during his childhood flooded into his mind. As he watched his daughter struggle, fear and helplessness overwhelmed him once again. In the end, Liam left under Jake's disappointed gaze. Not long afterward, an enraged Jake came to confront him.
You spent a couple weeks playing house. And you just sat there, Liam. I mean, she could have died if she'd been alone with you. Are you just gonna find some way to mess it up? And it'll destroy him.
His words destroyed what little courage Liam had left. Years earlier, Liam had abandoned Josie for reasons no one understood. Now he suddenly believed that his presence might still be a nightmare for Josie and Billy. After struggling with the decision, Liam once again chose to leave without saying goodbye. He pushed Josie's newly restored hope back into darkness. Billy was left deeply disappointed, but Liam knew nothing about the pain he had caused. Instead, he returned to the glamorous life he once lived. Even so, whenever he saw Josie's photograph in a magazine, the emptiness inside him remained obvious. He buried himself in exhausting work, hoping to numb the pain. But once a person has seen the dawn, darkness becomes impossible to endure. His longing for Josie and Billy tormented him every moment. Eventually, his manager noticed something was wrong. Only then did Liam explain what had happened. He confessed that he was not normal. He believed he could never give his daughter a complete family. But his manager understood the truth. He told Liam that everyone makes mistakes. What matters is what you do after making them. Real love must be protected and maintained. It cannot survive if you run away every time something goes wrong. Those words instantly cleared Liam's mind. Ignoring his boss's objections, Liam bravely ran off the plane. At last, he found the courage to respond to the messages Josie had left years ago. He told her that he had listened to those recordings every day for the past 8 years. But because he had been young and afraid, he chose to run away. This time, Liam rushed toward Josie's home without caring about anything else, but he was still too late. The house gave him no answer. He had no idea that the greatness of love lies in understanding, acceptance, and forgiveness given at exactly the right moment. So when the woman he had longed for appeared the next morning, Liam could hardly believe his eyes. Josie asked whether he had really kept that broken phone for 8 years. She also asked whether he would truly never leave her again. This time, Liam answered without hesitation. Years of resentment finally disappeared. True love is not measured by how long it can remain new. It is measured by whether the same love still remains after years have passed. After everything they had endured, Liam finally accepted his imperfect self. He chose to spend the rest of his life making up for the mistakes of his past. And this time, it would be forever.